What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. VP Tactical here. Wanted to bring you some more recent news of some things that are happening. And I know I've been a lot more vocal about the news lately, just given everything that's going on. I very much do care about our Second Amendment rights, and it's important that we're all aware of what's going on, so that way we can help support those who support us in protecting our Second Amendment rights. State, local, federal, whoever are those folks that do back us, among many other companies that are out there, firearm coalition groups, NRA, etc., whoever that might be. But definitely, if you do appreciate my content, hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on recently. So last video I had talked about the update of a letter that had been sent out from 16 senators to the ATF at the end of November, requesting information from the ATF to be non-ambiguous, and ultimately to define, not on a okay, if I know it I see it, that's an illegal gun type scenario, or basically making decisions on a whim without actually giving us criteria or giving us a basis for what they're doing. And so December 7th rolled around, there was no update on that. And then now, ATF recently, I believe on Thursday, had raided POLYMER80. So if you're familiar with POLYMER80, those folks happen to create equipment that you could potentially turn into a pistol, for example, or a rifle, with your own knowledge, expertise, etc., basically your own hand. So the reason why they call it 80 is because it's usually 80% completed. There's no serial number, which is legal currently under our existing laws. And so basically it's up to you to finish the remainder of the work in order to turn it actually into a firearm. So as long as there's no intent to sell it, this is for personal use, then according to the ATF laws, of course not giving you tax or legal advice, excuse me, but that's what more or less it is stated in that regard. And so this is actually from AmmoLand, John Crump, a very big supporter out there. I believe he's an NRA instructor, very involved in the gun community, and recently had posted this letter up talking about how the ATF had shown up at multiple, not only POLYMER80, but multiple shooting sports related companies. And particularly it's over the build, buy, shoot kits. So the interesting thing about that is that all of the equipment that you need, essentially, or parts that you need to assemble the gun are in there. However, as part of those kits, it's still an 80% lower. So it is no different from going to company A and buying the POLYMER80 frame from them, right, which is still an 80% receiver, and it still requires you to complete it, and then purchasing all of the other parts that you need from them, as opposed to buying a box that still has the same POLYMER80 frame in it that still needs to be completed by you, but with the other parts to complete it. And so that's really peculiar that the ATF is going after these folks, and from what I gather from my own research and reading it, it sounds like it's more or less an attempt to acquire information, particularly customer information, which is interesting given the fact that they've already stated if you're going to create guns for your own personal use, that's fine under current law. And so, according to, from what I understand, leaked source that AmmoLand was able to get a hold of, John Crump, it states that the agency ATF blames rising in crimes built from using 80% frames. And so essentially what they had done is ATF had gone to a judge to obtain a warrant and showed up at POLYMER80 among many other companies. And in addition, the documents that the ATF put together, also claim that the federal courts have repeatedly held that GCA firearms definition applies to a collection of unassembled firearm parts, including firearm parts kits. And again, specifically the build, buy, shoot kits of firearms are designed to or may be readily converted to expel a projectile. So just in the last 90 days, ATF said that certain pistols may be too long or too heavy to be importable. Next, you noted that pistol braces were not permissible unless the company submits every single variation for classification. And then now we're saying or they're saying that 80% of frames of receivers require case-by-case analysis that's dependent on the facts. So it's that same idea of, I know it when I see it, or, again, just making determinations on a whim that, hey, this is now illegal because we say it is. Or, this has not been approved by the ATF, so, yes, if you own it, or, if you're selling it, you could potentially be in violation of the law. And so it seems like, not seems, I mean, it is appearing to get worse before, things have turned a corner. I mean, we still haven't heard any update regarding the pistol braces themselves, so that's really unusual. Like I said, that this is coming down the pipeline like this, and that we still haven't gotten an update on the pistol braces itself. So it seems like they're attacking from different angles the Second Amendment rights, whatever that might look like. And so, like I said, it's very interesting to see all of this stuff happening. Quite concerning, actually, to say the least. And the recent or upcoming administration, it doesn't sound like it's going to get much better, and that fight's only going to continue to get worse. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. And it looks like, I said, not just POLYMER80, but again, other companies. You look here, it says, according to documents, says if an inspector sees a build by shoot kit on the shelf of the gun store, is supposed to call area supervisors. They can arrange for a special agent to respond. FFL will be instructed not to transfer or dispose of the kit, will be asked to surrender product to ATF. Special agent finds kit, they will decide whether it's appropriate to begin a criminal investigation regarding that kit. What's really unusual about the whole scenario is that nobody's been charged and nobody's been arrested or detained, at least as far as to my knowledge. So it sounds like ETF is just simply going after information, particularly customer information. So when you can see here, I mean, even talking about, Brownells, which big company, Brownells does sell POLYMER80 kits, but they were visited by the ATF, which was reported not to be hostile. This was actually a comment from the rep of VP of Marketing at Brownells. Says ATF did visit our facility on Thursday, December 10, 2020. Understanding that they inquired about sales of the POLYMER80 build by shoot kit, Brownells does not sell that kit. POLYMER80 continues to be a great partner. Brownells will probably sell their products in other parts. So that's great that Brownells is sticking up for them and not backing down. And it says the ATF did raid or show up other companies that sell other kits that include 80-part kits, barrels, and slides that are not POLYMER80. News sources from AMLAN say that inside the ATF, the agency is now considering 80% kits with all parts needed to finish a pistol as a firearm. None of the companies had any warning of the changed ATF regulations before actual agents showed up making attempts to retrieve customer information. So again, it sounds like ATF's interested in customer records. Seems to be a nationwide crackdown. Agencies intend on acquiring customer personal records and run a criminal background check against the list to see if any felons have purchased 80% frame. ATF is making a de facto 80% gun registration. Local ATF offices are responsible for executing orders any way they see it. Order can be full-on raid or single field agent. Orders coming on top of brass at the ATF at the LA field office requests. It says gun owners in America are aware of the situation. Believes ATF's goal is to build a list of gun owners and punish the kit sellers. And like I said, this is some very unusual times, and I'm quite concerned to see this stuff come down the pipeline. Again, definitely take time out of your day if you can to reach out to your local state representatives, federal. Let them know again that these types of scenarios, these situations are not acceptable, and that our rights are being infringed upon, and that it truly is tyranny, and it's asinine in every respect of the word. I greatly appreciate you watching this video. I felt that it was important to bring again this to light. I'm sure other pages out there, other channels, are doing a similar thing, but I want to make sure that we get as much coverage as possible, and that these topics are talked about and discussed, and then that we're involved as much as we can be to help combat anything negative that may come down the pipeline from it. Other than that, I did want to say I hope you enjoyed this content. Again, if you did, please help support my channel. Hit that like and subscribe button along with that little bell so you know when new content's posted. Pretty much the vast majority of my content is self-funded, so I'm pretty much on my own in that regard. But nonetheless, be safe, stay vigilant, and like I said, keep your eyes and ears peeled, and thank you for stopping by the channel. Take care.